the same. Cut off the head of the snake, and the body dies. We will win this war. It's only a matter of time.
No, we're here for Out by the Resonator. Come on!
Rear out those choppers, Lieutenant. They're taking Delta to EVA immediately.
Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Skull and Bones 212 here, and in today's Gears of War E-Day video, I've got a banger for you guys. So the video that we're going to be making today is going to be talking about what generals and what important characters will we be seeing on the release of E-Day. So a lot of people have gotten the misconstrued concept that we might be seeing General Rom on E-Day because, you know, it takes place closer to the first game and this is the beginning, but that really couldn't be much farther from the truth than you think. You see, in the beginning of E-Day, when it actually occurred, General Rom attacked a city called Jannermont, specifically a military base. Now, the first person he kills is actually a Carmine, believe it or not. So, unless General Rom destroys Jannermont within 3 hours and then makes his way to Kelowna, I highly doubt we're going to be seeing General Rom. And that leaves it up in speculation for who we really can be seeing in this game. Now, I do think we have actually somebody snippet, maybe an idea of who we could be seeing, and I'm going to put this image up here now, and we're actually going to be looking at that name and just giving some theories and, you know, giving an explanation as to why I believe this might be a major character for the Locust army that we may be fighting in this game. If we go back to the E-Day Direct, where they actually showed us a list of the dismemberment system and characters and assets in the game, there's one name that stands out of all the enemy types: Vrak. Now, if you know the Locust generals and you know the lore and you know how the Locusts tend to name their ranks and stuff, that sounds like a very Locust-esque name. Vrak, Shrock, Uzil, Vold, stuff like that. So even though there's no name tied to that, I do believe it's the rank of some high-ranking subordinate. Could be of, you know, Rom's Bloodied Vanguard. Now, the only other person that we haven't seen in a game that is like a big bad character would probably be the underling that would have succeeded Rom had he not died, and that's his personal marksman, Vrak Germad. Now, I'm not saying this is him, but at the end of Gears of War 3, the ICM, or Emulsion Countermeasure, didn't really get rid of all of the Locust. Yes, it induced an hibernation and evolution into the Swarm, which we know as in Gears 4 and 5. But if you read the novels, some Locust did manage to escape. In fact, Lonnie from the Brash Brigade and also Lonnie from Hivebusters says that not all Locusts died. There was actually specialized COG groups after the war effort made specifically to target the Locust survivors and eradicate them completely. Now, I believe that Vrak Germad could have been one of those groups that had survived. He had probably kept some of the Bloodied Vanguard alive, those at which had managed to survive the ICM, and we might be able to lead into that in the future. But for E-Day specifically, because there was no fate from him in between the comics from his introduction till Rom's death, we don't really see that. Nothing is mentioned of Vrak's passing, honestly, Germad's passing. So, you know, this name that we see on the, you know, footage when they're showing the enemies and the enemy lists, I genuinely do think that's a high-ranking Locust that's going to be a baddie. Now, I don't understand, you know, if it's just a placeholder for a Locust and it could just be, you know, some new class of drone, but I highly doubt that's the case. Yes, we may be revisiting a lot of, you know, new characters and new enemies in this game, but a lot of people also do seem to forget that Gears of War E-Day is a reboot, so they're taking a lot of the existing lore and, you know, taking the time frames and the places in which they happened and fast forwarding that and changing it to fit the narrative of this game. So that's food for thought. Obviously, as more information comes out to the closer time of the release, we can discuss it more, but that's just my initial thoughts on that. Now, I also know that a lot of people have had concerns via Locust enemies that we haven't seen yet, especially one like the Cantus. And I honestly think that we're not going to see everything that we want just yet. They're going to hold off on that. They're going to keep it towards the very end because remember, a lot of these Locusts are getting major redesigns and they might not look the way that we know them as. So I want you guys to prepare for that as well when they do get revealed. If they're not present on E-Day, then 100% they'll be present in multiplayer and we'll have variations of them for the following game. But that's also something else that I know a lot of people have been worrying about is like, oh, well, they haven't shown all of the Horde. We've only seen the drones, the Grenadiers, and some of like the Hollow Beasts, but we haven't really seen like the Cantus. We haven't seen Therons. We haven't seen, I feel like they will reveal all of that later on. And when we get there, it'll be very good. But it's your boy Bones, and I can't wait to catch you guys in the next video. The next video is going to be a special one. I think you guys are going to like that. We're going to be tackling the subject of like who we could see in E-Day for the COG side of things. And I know a lot of people are excited for that. You know, will we get a Carmine? Are we going to, you know, see Carlos in any form or fashion? So stuff like that. I want to tackle that and talk about it. But besides that, if you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, spread the video to your friends. It is your boy Bones, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.